I'm Laura Trevelyan in New York, and this is BBC World News America. A US judge makes public the search warrant for Donald Trump's home. FBI agents were investigating 3 potential crimes, the unsealed search warrant shows, including violation of the Espionage Act. The former president claims the government has been weaponized against him. The author Salman Rushdie is undergoing surgery after being stabbed in the neck on stage ahead of a lecture in New York State. Russia is accused of nuclear blackmail as concerns grow about shelling around Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station. Drought is officially declared in England after the driest July in half a century. Welcome to World News America on PBS and around the globe. A US judge has unsealed the FBI search warrant for Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. It shows that agents are investigating potential violations of the Espionage Act. Agents took 11 sets of documents from Mr. Trump's home, including some marked top secret. Mr. Trump and his supporters reacted angrily to the unprecedented search of his home on Monday. For more, we're joined now by our correspondent in Washington, Chichi Izundu. And Chichi, what else did we learn from that unsealed search warrant? Chichi Izundu in Washington, thank you so much. Well, for more on today's dramatic developments, I'm joined now by the former Principal Deputy Assistant US Attorney General, Thomas Dupre. And what do you make of that unsealed search warrant, particularly the fact that FBI agents were investigating potential violations of the Espionage Act? Thomas Dupre, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, police in New York State say the author Salman Rushdie has suffered a stab wound to the neck. He was attacked as he was about to give a lecture. He was flown to hospital by helicopter and he's undergoing surgery. Police say a man has been taken into custody. Mr. Rushdie received death threats after writing his book, The Satanic Verses, in 1988 and went into hiding for nearly a decade. Our North America correspondent John Sudworth now reports. Ukraine's president has accused Russia of open nuclear blackmail as international concern mounts about fighting near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. Volodymyr Zelensky urged the world to act immediately to force Russian troops to leave the site, saying it was in the global interest. China and the US have both called for UN experts to be allowed into the plant in central eastern Ukraine. Our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse now reports. For more on the situation at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant and the progress of the war in Ukraine, I spoke to the Ukrainian MP and former head of the security service, Valentin Nalyvaichenko. 12 people, including the gunman, have been killed in a mass shooting in Montenegro. It's been reported that the attacker randomly shot at people walking in the street, including children, in a residential part of the city of Cetinje. A further 6 people are said to be injured, including a police officer. In other news now, at least 5 police officers have been killed in the city of Butembo in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo after violent protests there over the security situation following a prison break. On Wednesday, at least 800 prisoners broke out of a jail in Butembo. Since then, more than 250 inmates have been recaptured. In Iraq, a political standoff is deepening as an Iranian-backed political alliance has begun a sit-in in Baghdad. It comes 2 weeks after supporters of the powerful cleric Muqtada al-Sadr stormed parliament. The 2 factions, which both represent the Shia majority in Iraq, are demanding a new government, but they remain far from agreement. The US actor Anne Hesh has died after suffering a severe brain injury following a car crash earlier this week. The actress was known for her roles in films including Donnie Brasco, Cedar Rapids, and the 1998 Psycho remake. She was 53 years old. A drought has been declared across extensive parts of England as hot, dry conditions have depleted water supplies across the United Kingdom. The official declaration will trigger stricter controls on water use, including banning the use of hose pipes, as our correspondent Helena Wilkinson now reports. It's not just the UK that's suffering drought. Much of Europe has also had weeks with little or no rain. In Germany, the lack of water is starting to have significant economic impacts, as Jenny Hill reports now from the River Rhine. Jenny Hill reporting there from Germany. And before we go tonight, let's take a look at a carpet of flowers in Belgium. In Brussels, every 2 years, hundreds of thousands of flowers are used to create a vast floral carpet in the city's Grand Place. This year's display is the very first since the pandemic began, and it's inspired by the very first of these displays back in 1971, which was influenced by arabesque shapes. Very calming and very peaceful after a rather turbulent week of world news. I'm Laura Trevelyan. Thank you so much for watching BBC World News America.
Hello there. After recent extreme heat across Western Europe,